Hello everybody, welcome to the review of our final practice match for the preseason as we lead up to round one for season 2023. It was the Blues, 7 goals, 12.54 to the Swans, 15 goals, 7.97. It was a tough watch. It wasn't very entertaining, to say the least. I think most, if not all of us, go into these games wanting to see probably who's going to stake their claim for a spot in round one. I think we like to have a look at the youngsters to see if they've got what it takes to play a couple of games in the season. And then most of all, I think we just hope to get through unscathed. So that was my mentality going into the game. From my point of view, it was like I said, it was tough to watch. It was flat. There was a clear lack of energy from the group overall. We're a team that dominates around stoppage and the clearance numbers. I thought we really failed to do that, particularly early. The inside 50 count and the clearance numbers were heavily in the Swans' favour in that first quarter, and they just kept peppering and kept putting the scoreboard pressure on us. I felt like for the rest of the game, we wrestled it back to a bit of a scrap, somewhat on even terms, but I'm not looking too much at the score, if I'm honest. It was just disappointing from the standpoint of, every time you watch the team, you want to watch something that's giving you positivity for the season. So there's a few ways to look at it. I don't know. I'm not worried at all. My main concern was really around just getting through. But yeah, I would expect, and without wanting to rely on the could, should, what if, and the like, I would expect there to be a significant rise in the energy in which we show around the ball, the way we defend. There was a lot of, on the fan cams last night, there was a lot of referencing to the dump kicks. I think I saw it online as well on Twitter and on Facebook when I checked. Yeah, a lot of that out of defense, not as much composure. I'm really curious to know what we wanted from a coaching perspective. I saw Vossi at the end of the game. He looked pretty happy and pretty pleased. Not pleased, but I think he obviously had a plan in place. I heard Nathan Buckley talking earlier in the broadcast during the St Kilda game around how, as a coach, the preseason is you never show your full cards. It's a good opportunity to create situational development within the group. And yeah, there wasn't anywhere near as much run and carry from us, handball chains. We've come to watch the team for a while now. We know when we're on, and we know when we're bringing that energy, and we know when that spark is there. It just wasn't there. So yeah, I think for a few of the senior boys, it was just good to get through. You could tell, I felt like you could tell who's really fighting for that round one spot, particularly when you think about guys like Lockie Cowan, Alex Chincotta, Ollie Hollands. You could tell the intensity in which they played with. You can tell which ones are really still trying to prove themselves and force their way into the side. One of the other observations, probably following on from last week, was with Blake Acres, just from that wing position. I think we really have one of them covered now. I've said this a few times. I think most of us agree now. Like, Blake Acres is going to be a solid pickup for us. Doesn't need to be a superstar. I don't expect him to be a superstar, but just that side of the ground that he's on, he covers the ground really well, and he goes really deep in defence and provides an option. He obviously got forward as well, kicked a nice goal. I really like the work ethic that he's brought into the team, and he's just a big, strong body. And then on the other end, you've got young Ollie Hollands. I thought his footwork really stood out. His ability to get himself into space after initially getting the ball, thought was really impressive. And so, I thought he and Lockie Cowan in particular were the shining lights for us last night. Sam Doherty did his usual thing, generating a lot of ball movement, collecting a lot of ball, generating a lot of territory forward for us. Guys like Hewitt and Kennedy, you know what you're going to get with these types. I thought Silvani battled out a pretty strong four-quarter effort. As the game went on, he just continued to just be there. But yeah, the story for me were the young kids. Yeah, I'm a big fan of what I see. I'm mindful of the fact that, they're playing their absolute hardest against a side who I don't know if Sydney were going as hard as they possibly could. So I expect the intensity to lift another level once the season starts proper. So we'll see. But I think it was good for their confidence. The most important thing is just that they believe that they can be there. I think going off last week, you could tell, looking back now, there probably a few nerves early on, but they seem to be settled. And, we've got quite a few players to come back, important players. I think before the game, when I did the preview, I was a little mindful and worried and concerned around Marchbank, McGovern, Jack Martin. We did get updates on them. Marchbank has a calf issue, so that'll see him on the sidelines for a little longer, which is disappointing. Jack Martin, again, it seems to just be part of this program. I guess just got to put the faith and hope that it's the right move and hope that nothing else is going on other than this is the plan. We'll train hard and get him ready for round one. And then McGovern, I believe, has had a child. And that's that. Not much to report on of significance. The Ruck situation was interesting. It was good to see Pitto get another game under his belt. Tom De Koning. Early on, I thought we lost that Ruck battle convincingly. And then I think as the game went on, at the end of the game, we win the hit-out battle, but didn't really reflect much else around the ground, particularly on the scoreboard. So that's still an unknown for me. I think in an ideal situation, Tom, when he rests forward, has a bit more of an impact on the scoreboard. I don't know how far away that is for him. We'll see at the end of this year how much of a ruck forward he can really be. Ultimately, he needs to hit the scoreboard in order for that tandem to really be a factor for us, I think. But again, get the Ks in the legs, get through, and move to round one. I was probably a little disappointed with a couple of guys who I thought have had a couple of chances now in the preseason, one or two chances to just show a little bit more and put themselves maybe further up in the rankings. And this might be just a perceived ranking from my lens, and I'm not sure where they sit internally. But guys like Paddy Dow, guys like Josh Honey, I was hoping to see a little bit more from them, just to stake their claim. I'm mindful that we're probably going to need them throughout the season. It's a long, brutal season. We've already started to pile up some injuries, so the stress on the body, it's going to come, and we're going to need to manage our bodies a little better than what we have in the past. So I was hoping to see a little something more from those names. Good to see Matt Owies back out there. Had a couple of shots on goal that he missed, but he's important for the way we pressure in our forward half, particularly inside 50. And that's that. Yeah, not too much. I still had the butterflies before the game. I obviously didn't watch the Collingwood game last week live, so I didn't get to really immerse myself and feel the feelings. But yeah, I was sitting outside waiting for the game to start, and yeah, it's just that the footy, the club, it's just this external factor that grabs you and gets you excited. So that's still there, and over the course of the next 2 weeks, the build-up is just going to intensify. We're already hearing about sold-out stadiums for round one, and yeah, that's really what it's all about. Get through, get a few games under the belt, be ready for round one, and then 4 points are on the line, and then the journey really begins. So yeah, that's what I thought about last night. Curious to see what you think and where your mind went to. There were some comments last night around being concerned. There were some comments last night around just getting through and not being concerned. It's really interesting. I sensed a humility, a new level of humility from the supporters on the fan cams last night. And I'm not sure if it was because of the flat performance that we saw overall in the game, or if it's just a little bit of maturity from us as a fan base because of how much we've been burned in the past. But look, we can't look behind. We have to look forward, and we'll see what happens. So no Kool-Aid yet, but I'm sure it'll come. Share with me your thoughts in the comments below. Where do you see us placed? Give me a summary of how you have perceived the preseason as we head into round one, and we'll chat about it there. See you soon. Go Blues.